Uh, we know that there's severe mental health consequences. There's the phenomenon of internalized homophobia. So people grow up in societies. They may know that they're different, that they're LGBT, but their families may not know that right away. And as they express their sexual orientation, their gender identity, if they encounter rejection, particularly when they're young, that can lead to very bad health consequences. In New England, it's estimated that about a third of the homeless youth are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. And the reason for that is that if a young person grows up in a non-affirming environment, they're very likely then to not do well in that family setting and act out and or run away. So we think that marriage equality will definitely improve mental health consequences. We actually have a paper in the American Journal of Public Health that documented that at the clinic where I work, Fenway Health, mental health costs among men who have sex with men went down after marriage equality was enacted in Massachusetts. I think some of the other infectious diseases, HIV/AIDS and sexually transmitted diseases, may take longer to show a benefit, but probably in time they will. There's just not a lot of data yet because it's so recent that many countries and parts of the U.S. have enacted civil equality for men who have sex with men and other populations. So if you already have a high rate of infection, and if some of the people who might be at greatest risk for HIV, people who have multiple partners, for example, they may not right away rush for civil equality, particularly if they've grown up as individuals, isolated individuals. So I think that's something that we may see, but it may take as much as a generation to see that kind of health benefit. But we certainly know that when people are depressed or using substances, they're at greater risk for HIV, and we certainly have at least early data to say that when civil equality is available, people tend to be less suppressed. They don't feel like they're atypical in society, and therefore they don't have to self-medicate, so they're not likely to use drugs as much. I think the positive consequence is that people who are very active parts of society feel more engaged and more able to give of themselves to the wider society. I've also noticed that heterosexuals are much better educated now about same-sex attraction and gender identity because the people who they're interacting with are more open and more candid. So prior to this, very few people thought that they knew a man who has sex with men or a lesbian or transgender person. And now once there's civil equality, the sexual minority, gender minority people are more comfortable coming out. So it educates the overall community. So those are real positive things. I've not seen any downside. I mean, I don't think, it doesn't hurt anybody to have their neighbors be equal citizens along with them. So we've not seen any negative consequences. I think it's something that, it's an idea whose time has come. I mean, I think that it ultimately will improve a lot of health consequences for key parts of the population, but the most important thing is it's the right thing to do. There's just no logical reason to forbid this. We live in a secular society. We respect people's faith traditions, but the faith traditions in a multicultural 21st century world shouldn't limit the ability of people to be with somebody that they love or to achieve the same benefits as other married couples.